think we got a heck of a shot of winning. We can beat anybody in the world, and I think we're going to win next Sunday.
David Wells has pitched a perfect game. 27 up, 27 down. Baseball immortality for David Wells.
And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2. Bates against Joseph. Bates in on goal. Shoots. Defend Metro! And the Rangers have one more hill to climb, baby!
This is the Cross Island Sports Network, where iconic moments get iconic coverage.
You are listening to
the Cross Island Podcast. Action! Hosted by Lyle Gillen and Errol Marks.
Welcome to a new show of the Cross Island Podcast. I'm your host, Errol Marks, my co-host, Lyle Gillian. How are you, Lyle?
I am doing wonderful today. Can't wait to have a fantastic show.
Well, you did lose a little bit of electricity over there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little electric in New York sports, that's why.
Well, there's a lot to get into with New York sports, and we're going to get into it tonight. But before we do that, I mean, what happened over there? Did somebody just hit into a pole? What happened?
Yeah, that's what I'm being told. Someone down the block smashed into a pole, and I lost power for like a couple of minutes right before the show was going to go off. Interesting.
Well, we're going to get into the LA Dodgers and Yankees series as the LA Dodgers knock off the Yankees 2-1, winning the first 2 games and then losing Game 3 on Sunday. Actually, a game I was going to go to, but I decided at the last minute not to. But obviously, Heel actually he pitched very, very well. I know he didn't pitch one of his gems where he had 6 scoreless innings, but no hit innings. But he pitched very well yesterday, and the Yankees obviously won. Their bullpen showed up on Sunday, obviously. But so we're going to get into the Yankees and Dodgers series. We'll get into the Yankees selling Ohtani jerseys at Yankee Stadium. Very interesting story, as Ohtani's jersey is the number 1 selling jersey right now in the MLB, which is expected, and that's probably why he didn't go to jail. He's not going to go to jail, but he could get a felony because it was going on in L.A., and he's still in baseball. So very interesting story. We're also going to get into the Mets split in London, so interesting, as the Mets are actually playing pretty good baseball in the last 2 weeks. So we'll get into the New York Mets. And NHL salary cap set at $88 million. That means $4.5 million increase. How does this affect the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers? So let's get into the New York Yankees. And you know what it's so interesting about this series? First of all, Soto is not 100% healthy. He had a forearm injury over the week. I think it was on Thursday. And the Yankees decided to sit him out in this series. He's okay. Everything that we've heard, he went to look at. He went to go to obviously a doctor to double check on his forearm. There's no Tommy Johns. There's no UCL tear. So he'll probably be out for another week or so, and then he'll be back in that lineup. But the Yankees missed Soto, and you could see that in that lineup. They were not hitting. They did not hit on Friday night. They were back and forth. They couldn't hit men in scoring position on Saturday night. And Sunday night, they kind of struggled too. I'm sorry?
He's DHing tonight.
Oh, he's playing tonight? So he's back. But they're obviously...
No Judge.
I'm sorry?
No Judge.
Yeah, well, that's expected. They're not going to play Judge in every game.
Yeah.
And a Judge is not hurt. By the way, there's nothing that came out that Judge is hurt. He's going to be sitting here and there in the lineup. They're not going to play him every single game. They want to keep him fresh. Now that Soto's in the lineup, they add that middle of the lineup bat where they don't have to obviously let Judge play in a game where I don't think is needed. I don't think he's needed in a game like this. This is, obviously the Dodgers series was a very competitive series. Some people expect this to be the World Series. Some people think it's the Dodgers and the Yankees. I would beg to differ. I mean, there are other teams right now playing pretty good baseball. Philadelphia, the Phillies are one of the best teams right now in baseball, with obviously Bryce Harper, your guy, and Trey Turner, who is, I think he's back. Is he back from his injury? I'm not sure. I know he was injured.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if he played in London, but, listen, you said Harper was my boy, but Trey Turner, when he was on the Nationals, he was way more my boy than Harper ever was. I love Trey Turner. Phillies have a great 2 players there.
Well, I thought you were going to say something. I'm eating something. But so to get into the Yankees series, there's a lot of questions with obviously the Yankees over the last couple of years. As the second half got closer, we're not close to the second half. There's the All-Star break. But once the All-Star break's over, we're going to be talking about the trade deadline. I think the trade deadline.
Turner did not play.
I'm sorry?
Turner did not play in London.
Okay, so I'm not positive, but I think the trade deadline's before the All-Star break. Am I not wrong on that?
No, it's always July 31st. It's just afterwards.
So what do the Yankees do? Now, Garrett Cole should be back in the next week or two. So the Yankees will have him back into, obviously, pitching and being a big part of that rotation.
He had a good outing in AAA.
Right.
It went 4 1/3, 1 run, 1 hit. It was a whole solo shot. And obviously, they have him on a pitch count. He's only went 60 pitches this game, and that's why he only went 4 1/3. But he looked good in his second outing.
Well, it's expected. It's expected. I expect Garrett Cole to come back. He's not going to be the dominant force right away coming back into this rotation, but the rotation is pitched very well, very, very well. Even this weekend against a very good lineup, the rotation pitched very well. So it's not like the Yankees rotation was not, up to par against a good Dodger lineup. They actually played very well. The problem is they couldn't hit men in scoring position. This has been a big problem for the New York Yankees for the last couple of years. And without Soto in the lineup, you're putting more pressure on Judge to make, to be the big bat in that lineup. And a lot of the other guys are not hitting in the lineup. I mean, honestly, if you look at the Yankees lineup right now, Volpe, he's been really, really good. But without Soto in that lineup, the lineup is not even close to what the talent it could be when he is in it. Now, obviously, Giancarlo Stanton has 15 home runs with 36 RBIs. They have 3 guys right now in double digits when it comes to home runs and double digits when it comes to RBIs. I'm talking – they have a couple of guys in double-digit RBIs, but they have 3 guys with – actually 4 guys with 30 or more RBIs. So, and it's crazy because Alex Verdugo has actually played very well this year in a lineup, a team with the Yankees. Now, with the Red Sox, he wasn't hitting. He's not an average hitter. He's going to hit. He's going to hit about, and he's actually hitting for average this year, 261. But he's a guy that's going to give you 250. That's what he's going to do. He's going to give you, in a good season, he's going to give you 20 to 25 home runs. And I don't even think he's ever hit 100 RBIs in his career. This year, I think he will. If he stays healthy in this lineup with 8 home runs and 34 RBIs, he's on his way to hit 100 RBIs. He is a free agent at the end of the year. If the Yankees can't re-sign Soto, I could see them bringing back Alex Verdugo. No matter what, I think Alex Verdugo is gone if the Yankees bring back Soto. So there's a lot of excitement for this Yankee team. Their rotation, like I said, has been pitching is fantastic. Rodon is going to be an all-star pitcher. Heel is going to be up for a Cy Young this year. You have Garrett Cole coming back. Nestor Cortez is pitching right now. His ERA is closer to 3. And remember, Clark Schmidt, before he got hurt, he was pitching very well too. So everybody, even Stroman could be an all-star this year in the Yankees rotation. He's pitching under 3. So they've got a bunch of guys there right now. They lead the league in ERA. I think they're in first place right now in WHIP. I mean, the Yankees pitching has been dominant, and even against the Dodgers, like I said, this weekend did not prove to me that the Dodgers are a better team. It didn't. What it told me is when the Yankees are matched up against the good teams, the talented teams, the Yankees are going to have to hit in scoring position. If they expect to win a World Series this year, if they expect, and Houston will make the playoffs this year, one way or another, they're going to make the playoffs. They didn't start the season strong, but one way or another, they're going to be a wild card team, and they're going to sneak into the playoffs. And that pitching, especially that rotation of the Houston Astros, has not pitched well this year. They're going to figure it out. When they do, they're dangerous. The Yankees are going to have to hit against those star rotations. If they don't do that, they're not winning anything. And if you're going to tell me if Juan Soto's not in the lineup, you're not going to hit, you're not going to hit when men are in scoring position, you're in trouble. Thank God Juan Soto is not hurt for the season. Aaron Judge is having a ridiculous last month and a half. I mean, he's the hottest hitter in baseball right now. There's no question. 24 home runs, 59 RBIs. He's on his way to hit 140 RBIs and about 50 home runs if he plays all season. I'm telling you right now, adding Soto to this lineup changed everything. Because what does it do? It protects Aaron Judge's bat. You're going to have to pitch to one of these guys. And if you don't pitch to one of these guys, you're going to have to deal with Giancarlo Stanton. So this is a great lineup. But without Soto, this is a mediocre lineup. And this is because they're all or nothing, the Yankees. That's what they are. They're all or nothing. And I don't care. If you look at the RBIs right now, you go 59 to Judge, 53 to Soto, 36 to Giancarlo Stanton, 34 to Alex Verdugo, Anthony Rizzo, who, by the way, is having a horrible season. I don't care how many RBIs he has. The Yankees are going to have to look for a replacement at first base. He looks old. And right now he has 7 home runs and 25 RBIs, but he's hitting 224. Anthony Volpe has been sensational this year. 6 home runs, 25 RBIs. He had that, obviously that hitting streak. He's been really, really good. Oswaldo Cabrera, he's on and off this year, but all in all, he has 5 home runs and 21 RBIs. He's playing a pretty good third base. So he's been pretty good filling in at third base. Jose Trevino, I think, is right now going to be a part of the All-Star team. He has 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. He's hitting 254 for a catcher. That's pretty damn good.
689 OPS, though, ain't that great.
No, but look at the catchers right now. He's pretty much in every single category when it comes to catching. So right now, Jose Trevino, if you would ask me, he is an all-star catcher for the American League. And so on and so on. Everybody else. I mean, DJ LeMahieu, he's only played 10 games and 32 at bats, but he's really done nothing. He has no home runs, no RBIs, and I have a feeling that DJ LeMahieu contract is going to burn a hole in the Yankees' pockets because he signed a 6-year, $80 million deal where everybody thought he won the batting title. This was a steal during COVID. He hasn't been the same player since COVID. So big problem for the Yankees when it comes to DJ LeMahieu. But like I said, Garrett Cole will be back in this rotation. The Yankees are going to have to obviously protect their star players and Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and even Giancarlo Stanton. Keep them fresh and make sure that they're ready for the second half of the season because that's the most important, especially with the Baltimore Orioles lurking right behind them.
The Yankees have definitely had some injury issues the last few years. The second half of the year, now not as much as the Mets, but they've definitely had a few injuries in the last half of the year. The last couple. They had
it bad. The Yankees have had it bad for a couple of years.
They have, but not as bad as the Mets. That's a whole other woof. But you look at their roster, and you mentioned them sitting Judge. That's very key. And now that's another luxury that Soto gives you. The ability to sit a guy like Stanton so he doesn't get hurt, who he's been plagued with injuries since he joined the Yankees. Then you look at Judge. Like you said, you have 3 of them, and it gives them a great lineup. And Soto, he does that. He's a guy who can bat second if you needed to, and he can go and he can get bat 350. He can sit there and do whatever you need. He can do any place in the lineup. You want him to bat fifth and right behind your big guns and protect them, he can do that. You want him to bat just before them to get more runs in, he can do that. He can bat anywhere, and he gives you that luxury. And I think that's a major weapon for the Yankees, that they can sit so many different guys and put him in that spot in the lineup and still have success.
Now there's the Ohtani story, which everybody was looking at it. And you could post up that picture, Lyle. The Yankees were selling Shohei Ohtani's jerseys at Yankee Stadium during the weekend's series. There was a lot of Ohtani fans, a lot of Asians at the game. I was very surprised how many Dodger fans went to Yankee Stadium. It was amazing.
They travel very well.
It's amazing.
And also, you got to think about it, the families that grew up in Brooklyn and then moved out, and then some families stayed following them, especially when it became easier to still follow the teams later as the years have gone on. And then you have, in LA, they have a big, strong Spanish fan base, and in New York, that's a lot of it's the melting pot for the reason, and it's a team that's very popular among the Asian fan bases and the Spanish fan bases right now.
A lot of people believe that the Yankees selling those jerseys is obviously revenue. They're trying to bring in more and more money because they're going to have to pay Juan Soto. And there's no excuses. And I'm going to read a story. Alicia D. Artola wrote a story today. I think today's June 7th, right? What's today's date? No, it's not June 7th. It's June 10th. I'm sorry, June 10th.
I wish it was June 7th. It'd be a Saturday.
So it's June 10th, and Alicia D. Artola wrote a story for Fansided. Fantastic. We actually interviewed one of the lead guys, one of the director and editing for Fansided. He's fantastic, and this is obviously one of his people writing the story. And it's interesting how many jerseys they sold at Yankee Stadium this past weekend. It's ridiculous. They practically sold out of Ohtani jerseys in Yankee Stadium over the weekend. And all that money, where does that go? And obviously, the Yankees have a chance now to sign Juan Soto. There is no excuses. The amount of money the Yankees are bringing in. But
that tells you that a lot of these people who were at this game that are Dodger fans were
Yankee fans were buying the jersey.
Oh, I believe that too. You get like the 20-year-old kid who likes to wear a jersey for fashion, but a lot of these Dodger fans probably that went to the game probably lived here, and they went to the game. They saw Ohtani jerseys and they bought them. But first off, those hats right at the top over there—that's the ugliest crap I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, come on. If you look at the what do they call the stadium games for the NHL? The Rangers and the Islanders and the Devils, they were ugly jerseys.
Oh, they were, but why? What? That's terrible.
What they're doing is they're promoting the jersey numbers and the names on top of them. That's what they do.
It's ugly. They have Ohtani and his numbers in Yankee lettering.
So why don't you reach out to New Era? Why don't you reach
out?
Tell
I'm going to email them right after this damn show.
Those hats are disgusting. They're unprofessional. Tell them that, even though they probably sold out of those hats over the weekend.
Here's the thing. You brought up the Islanders and Stadium Series. I'll use that as an example. If I was at an Islander home game at UBS Arena and they were selling Ranger stuff, I'd be beyond pissed. That would be a travesty. Okay. Honestly, I think there would be a riot if that ever happened. That's how mad everyone in that building would be. Because that's a good example of the two teams. You have LA and the Yankees, or the Dodgers and the Yankees, not LA, were massive rivals for a very long time. They have a lot of history there. And I would just, if it happened with the Islanders and the Rangers and now we're selling Ranger stuff at UPS, that would be a travesty. And I think every Yankee fan should be pissed off that the Yankees did that.
Well, the Yankees are trying to bring in revenue. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Are you going to hate on him? If they can sign Juan Soto, and one of the main reasons why they're going to sign Juan Soto is because of apparel that they're selling in their stadium. So that's a good sign for the Yankees, bringing back their superstar player, Juan Soto. Juan Soto is having such a great season. There are going to be teams lining up.
That's not weird for you to say that. Like the New York Yankees, the money juggernaut of baseball forever, who didn't care about money, who didn't need to do all that stuff, is now doing a marketing thing like this with jerseys in order to make more money.
Let me ask you a question. Who leads the league right now in salary?
Ohtani.
No. Who leads right now out of all the baseball teams? Who is leading the league in salary?
I'll say Dodgers.
The Yankees. The Yankees
They're
are number one.
They're still over the Dodgers.
The Yankees are number one. Well, because the Dodgers are deferred money. It's all deferred.
That's true.
The Yankees are.
And go by average annual value.
And Soto already came out and said he is not taking deferred money. He already came out and said it. He's not taking that deferred money. So you know the Dodgers are out on him. So he's not going to the Dodgers.
Still said San Francisco. And I'm sticking with that.
I don't think he's going to San Francisco. He's not going to go to a team. He's not going to go to a team that's not going to win. He was just with the Padres. They had a tremendous team with Machado and all those young players, talented from top to bottom. They had Hader as their closer. I mean, the rotation was great. There's no way he's going to the Giants. He wants to go to a team that's going to win. And that's why I don't think it's going to be the Mets either. I really think with Juan Soto, it's either Philadelphia or the Yankees. That's it. He's going nowhere else. I do not believe, and I think it's going to be a bidding war with Philadelphia and the Yankees. He's not going to the Mets. Even if Steve Cohen says, you know what, I'm going to bite my tongue and give him $800 million. He is not going there. I'm telling you right now.
Here's the thing. I think every major franchise in baseball will have that has owners that want to spend. Asterisk there. Will have a shot at signing Juan Soto. There's not going to be, if you're the Red Sox, are you going to sit there and say, hell no, we're not going to pay him?
He's not going to go to the Red Sox because
I'm just saying, those teams are going to be giving him offers. They will meet with every major market team.
The way I'm looking, Lyle, when I'm looking at Juan Soto, and I discovered the type of person that he is, the kid is young. He's 25, going to be 26. He wants to win. He wants to win.
You're telling me that?
No, I'm just saying. He wants to win multiple championships. He's won one with the Nationals. He could win one with the Yankees.
You're telling me what kind of kid he is?
I know you're a Nationals fan, but this is a guy that wants to win a lot of championships. He wants to be considered one of the greatest to ever play the game. How is he going to do that if he goes to the Mets or the Giants or any of those organizations? Even the Red Sox right now that are rebuilding. They're a rebuilding team. They're a rebuilding organization. They're trading away pieces. They're top-end players. The only person that they kept is their third baseman. So, I mean, and let me tell you something about the Red Sox. I got to give the Red Sox a lot of credit.
Yeah, it's 500.
They're playing 500 baseball with the team that they have. It's pretty amazing. But look, Chris Sale, he leaves. He goes. Chris Sale leaves. Now he's an all-star again. He leaves the Red Sox and he's an all-star. What's his record? He has 8 wins or 7 wins. Chris Sale's playing fantastic right now. So the Red Sox trade him. They get rid of him. And he's back to normal again. He's back with the Braves. He's been unbelievable.
I think he's injured, right?
I'm sorry?
I think he's injured.
I don't know, but he's 8-2 with a 3.01 ERA. And his whip, I'm looking at his whip. His whip is 0.94. 92 strikeouts. 90 in 10.
Oh no, he's good.
In 12 games. In 12 games, he has 92 strikeouts.
We beat him.
Whatever. I mean, Chris Sale has been fantastic this year with the Braves. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's up there.
I have to say, the Braves, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know. I think they're the biggest hot cold team in baseball right now. They're winning a few in a row and they're losing a few in a row.
They're a wild card team. Even without Acuna for the rest of the season and Strider, this team's still dangerous. And I wouldn't be surprised.
They're still a good team. They have good pitching.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Braves go all the way and win. I wouldn't be surprised.
They have good pitching, and that's what can keep them in it. Now, you look at other teams, I'll use the Nationals as an example. They just took 5 out of 7 against the Braves in two series. And when you have good pitching, you can beat good teams anytime. If you have good pitching and they keep you in it, anything can happen.
Dude, the Nationals are playing pretty good baseball. I mean, they're 30 and 35.
Yeah.
They're third in a division that everybody thought they were going to be dead last.
They could sneak into the third wild card if a miracle happens, but
miracle happens, dude. What are they? What, a game and a half out of a wild card spot right now?
Maybe three.
No, I think they're a game and a half. They have 30 wins right now.
Yeah.
They're a game and a half. They're a game and a half out of it, because you got the Giants 32, Cincinnati and the Cubs 32.
But hey, that's what happens when you have good pitching.
Game and a half.
Good pitching does that, and that's what it is. They lost a couple of really good hitters, the Braves, and they have good pitching, and they can still stay in any series against any team. And you said, hey, that you wouldn't be surprised if they went all the way. I wouldn't either, because they have good pitching. Chris Hale's is pitching well. Max Fried is pitching well. They have a lot of good guys pitching really well.
Yeah, but it's crazy because you lost your best pitcher and your best player, and you're still winning. So that tells you how much depth they have. And they have a great farm system. They got a tremendous farm system. They have 2 great players in the top. I think they said they have 2 players in the top 30 right now prospects in all of baseball. So they're still right there with, the Philadelphia Phillies. They're not catching Philadelphia. Nobody's catching Philadelphia.
Probably not.
Nobody. Dude, they're 10 games or 9 games ahead of the Braves. Nobody's catching. That's the best team right now in the National League. That is the best team. Overall is the best team in the National League. And
I think if they get a really good starting pitcher at the deadline, I think they're locked to win it all. I think that's really what they need, is one dominant, really good starting pitcher. I don't know who's out there who might have their contracts up, but I think they're one.
There's a lot of good pitchers that are going to be available this offseason.
Well, at the deadline.
Oh, but there'll be people. There'll be pitchers. There'll be teams out of it. Detroit's falling quick, even though they have 32 wins. I mean, Chicago's got pitchers right now. They're moving. They have the worst record in baseball. They could go down as one of the worst teams in baseball history. They have 17 wins. Me and Speedy we believe that they're going to have less wins than that Met team that have 44 wins. We expect. I don't think the Chicago White Sox win more than 38 games this year. I think they're that bad. And lost. How about the Angels? I mean, if I was Mike Trout right now, why would I want to be there? Why would I want to be there? If I was Mike, I know he said he wants to be an Angel for life. I would ask to be traded. I want to win. The guy's never going to get a chance to play in a World Series. This guy could go down as one of the great players of this era, and we're never going to see this guy ever go and play in a World Series. I mean, it's astonishing. It really is how good of a player he is, and he's having a pretty good season too. So I feel bad for Mike. I really do. I feel bad for Mike. He trusts in his team. He has 10 home runs and 14 RBIs, 109 at bats. He's not hitting for average right now. I will say that, but that's because teams are pitching to him. There's nobody to protect him in this lineup. So if I was Mike, I would ask to be traded. I'd ask to, and you know where it would make a lot of sense? Philadelphia.
He's from Philly. He grew up in Philly.
Yes, he grew up in New Jersey, but
he's from that area.
Yes, he grew up
in Southern Jersey, Philly area.
Yeah, he grew up a Philadelphia Phillies and Philadelphia Eagles fan. So I would like to see, obviously the position and the position that the Angels are going to be in at the trade deadline. They're not going to get a lot back from Mike Trout now. They should have traded him in the beginning of the season, before the season started, and get as much as you can for him. Now, Mike Trout's hitting 220 right now. He's not hitting for average, and it's going to go up. Mike Trout is going to – he's a career 300 hitter.
Here's the thing with Mike Trout. It makes it really hard to trade him. 1, that contract. 2, I'm pretty sure he has a full no trade clause. He can.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he does. And, if he doesn't want to go anywhere, like, he could just say no. And if the teams that would take him, he doesn't want to go to, like, I don't know. It's really difficult in that situation. And
Lyle, if you were my Trout right now, would you stay there?
It depends. I don't know his family situation.
Lyle, if you were my Trout,
I'm serious because I can't speak about him. But like, I don't know his family situation. I don't know anything about him. His family could love it there, and his wife might want to stay. Sometimes, and depending on your household, that's what makes decisions. Is if your wife's happy wife, happy life.
You know who's been.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't know his living situation. He might not want to leave unless it's going to Philly, and Philly might not want to take that contract.
Philadelphia will take any contract. Their owner has money. He likes to spend it. They're trying Castellano, whatever his name is. They want to trade him.
But would you want to take that contract or go after a guy like Soto?
I don't
think he's not healthy. Mike Trout's never been healthy.
Would
you want to pay him all that money to not be healthy, or go after Juan Soto, who is healthy and younger?
I just, even though I think Philadelphia is going to be out there going after him, I don't think they're going to get him. I don't.
And here's the other thing. You said that Mike Trout, like, would he want to stay there? But obviously he did when he signed that contract. Everyone thought he was going to leave then, and then he re-signed. So obviously he likes playing there.
All right, and maybe he does it, but why would you stay there if you're not going to win? And I wouldn't. Albert Pujols got, obviously after St. Louis decided to part ways, and he wanted to go somewhere to win. He wanted to go to the Angels. He thought he had a better chance to win with the Angels.
Back then when they signed him, they were a different team back then. I think that was before Mike Trout really became one of the
Mike Trout was a star. Mike Trout was a star.
At that point, what was it, 2006?
Star. Mike Trout was a star.
I thought you were after that.
No, Mike Trout was a star. When Albert Pujols went there, Mike Trout was the best player in baseball. The best player.
2011 is when was his rookie year.
Yeah. And go look where Albert Pujols was there in 2011, 2010, I think it was.
Yeah, 2012, just after he went there. So I wouldn't say he was a star yet.
He won an MVP his second year, I think.
Yeah, he got there his second year. So he wasn't maybe a star yet. He was a budding star soon to be.
He was rookie of the year, was he not?
Probably.
I think he was rookie of the year. And
yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's a star in the league just because you have one good year. Like, for me, to become a star in the league, you have to have multiple good years. He didn't win MVP until his third year, by the way. Second runner-up the first 2 years of his career. But like, to me, like, you had, like, he went there. You have a guy who just had a rookie of the year. LA was also a team that just 2 years removed played the Yankees, who just won the World Series. So, and they almost beat them, by the way. So they were a team that was looked at as being very, very, very competitive. It was a little bit of a different situation for Pujols when he went there.
Yeah.
Did they still have Jared Weaver back then when he went there?
I think Jared Weaver's not there anymore.
No, back then when he went
yes, Jared Weaver was
there. Yeah, he was.
Jared Weaver was there. But again, I
look at Cy Young. Like, they were a very good team when Pujols went there.
Kansas City has been the surprise team right now in all of baseball. And the reason why is, and they're in the easiest division right now, obviously, the American League Central. I've been saying that. This is why I thought the Mets were crazy giving Lindor that contract, because I just think Lindor, for his whole career before he was traded to the Mets, was in probably the most easiest division, the most non-competitive division in all of baseball. But Kansas City, they're having a great season. They really are. They're 39-27. The differential is plus 76. They got 3 great young players on that roster. They have a very good pitching staff, a fantastic pitching staff. They have one of the best bullpens in baseball. I mean, I've been very, very impressed with Kansas City. Very, very impressed with Kansas City. And right now, if the season were to end, they would be the first wild card team. No, the second wild card team, right behind Baltimore. So, I mean,
they're less than 20 games behind their win total for last year.
Yep.
They have 39 currently, and they had 56 last year. That's very impressive. That's a pretty good jump.
They're having a good season, and I think they're going to keep having a good season. Right now, their best player is Bobby Witt, their shortstop, who has 11 home runs and 47 RBIs. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he leads the American League, or he's second in the American League in RBIs. I mean, he's having a great season. Salvatore Perez, he is. We all know how great of a catcher he is, but 10 home runs and 42 RBIs as a catcher. I mean, batting .299. Salvatore Perez. I mean, Bobby Witt 320. Salvatore Perez 299. I mean, and then Michael Massey, another their young second baseman. Played 29 games. He's not hitting for power and he's not hitting for RBIs, but he's hitting .294. He's hit a couple of doubles. He's hit a couple of triples. I mean, they have a good roster, man. And your man, Hunter Renfroe. Look at that.
My man.
Your man.
Who?
Hunter Renfroe.
How is he my man?
I'm just messing with you, man. Calm down with your. How is he my man? How is he?
Caught me off guard. Like,
he's your man. You love him.
I'll go along with it. That's my boy right there.
That's your lover? What was that?
That's my boy. He's hitting 201. Let's go.
Oh, there you go. I mean, there you go. But
I'm gonna be honest, hitting 201, that is like prime territory for the Washington Nationals to want him.
Mm.
He hit 128 last year, 242 the year before. Hey, he used to be good like 5 years ago. I'm not surprised. Actually, I am surprised. I'll correct myself that they didn't sign him. Can you hear my sarcasm? You know?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay.
How about Manny Machado? Only have 6 home runs so far this season. Manny Machado only has it. Fernando Tatis has been their best player so far this season for the Padres. Could you imagine that? Fernando Tatis, the guy that they wanted to trade away.
You confused me for a little bit. You said went to Manny Machado, and I'm like, what? Well,
I'm looking at players that are having good seasons, and I'm telling you what I think. I'm looking at what these guys are doing right now. And
685 OPS.
I'll tell you this. Jerkson Profar could be a piece that they could trade at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Teams looking for a guy that can hit for average, hit for power. Right now, he's hitting 325 right now in the National League, 10 home runs and 43 RBIs. I mean, he's having an unbelievable. His OBP right now is 420. I mean, he's having a great season. And I'm going to tell you this: Padres right now are in a playoff spot, but I don't think they're any good. I think they extended Manny Machado's contract. They gave him a long-term deal, gave him more money. Machado's on the tail end. I don't think Machado is going to hit another season with 45 home runs and 130 RBIs. I don't think he's that type of player anymore.
He's 31. He's on the later half of his career. So
he's been beaten up. The injuries that he's had, the knee injury that he had, his ankle injury that he had. But they extended him. What was it, a year ago? They gave him an extra 7 years or whatever. They gave him a 7-year deal. And he's making what is he making? Like $40 million, $42 million?
Yeah, I think it was 2022. He signed 11 years, $350 million. It's
ridiculous. So now you're stuck with Manny Machado. Fernando Tatis he's another piece that if you fall out and you're just not going to make the playoffs, he might be another piece that you could trade. Fernando Tatis is, he's playing in the outfield. I don't know if he's a shortstop, but he's a pretty good outfielder. You can move him anywhere in the outfield. He can hit for average. He still has the power. Hopefully he stays away from the roid so he doesn't get in trouble. But I think roids should be allowed in baseball. I've said this many, many times. But nevertheless, Fernando's having a good season.
Listen, you had for history, throughout baseball history, you had guys trying to find ways to cheat. You had, you think Babe Ruth didn't try and find ways to get an edge?
Probably was.
Everybody did it. Everybody has done it throughout baseball, throughout the olden days. There was no period where people did not try and cheat. Steroids, if you take them, you still need to have the talent to be able to hit a baseball correctly. You can swing the bat all you want, but if you can't hit a baseball in that, a fifth of a millisecond it is, it doesn't matter how many steroids you take. You have to be able to have elite hand-eye coordination to still hit a ball.
Right.
If you don't have that, steroids, all they're doing is killing you.
And then there's the New York Mets, who obviously right now is playing pretty good baseball. I mean, they're not playing bad. I mean, for 3 weeks ago, the Mets were playing garbage baseball. They were horrible. But right now, they're 6-4 in their last 10 games. They're actually, but here's the problem: their run differential is at minus 33. I mean, that's not good.
The Mets are also 13-22 at home, 15-14 away. So they're definitely a team that struggles
at home
here in New York.
Mm-hmm. At home in Citi Field.
That's where they have to figure. And Met fans are great. Met fans are great. They're very passionate. They do a great job of supporting that team. I don't know how they do that because I would not be able to physically.
How are they supporting their team? I watch all those games. There's nobody in the crowds. There's nobody. You can buy a $10 ticket and go down right to the field.
But it's freaking early June. But, you think about it. Met fans, they love that team. And they will be behind them right from the get-go of the beginning of the year. No matter how bad everyone thinks that they are, they think, hey, this is the year. No matter how bad that team is projected to be, they always believe. I think Met fans are some of the best fans in baseball.
Are you trying to kiss up to Josh Silverberg?
Ha! Never. I honestly think that. I honestly think Mets fans have some of the most passionate fans in baseball. I think that they can still be assholes, but that's New York. Everyone's an asshole in New York. But, I think they have great fans. I think they have better fans than the Yankees. I think
you're out of your mind. I think the Yankee fans are so supportive to their team. Win, lose, or draw, they're always selling out. Have you ever seen Yankee Stadium look as bad as Citi Field? Even when the Yankees were a subpar 500 team? Even when in the 80s, when the Yankees
care about their team far more than
if they care about their team, why aren't they selling out games? Well, even when they suck. You're going to tell me that the Met fans are more emotional than the Yankee? Get out of here. That's a joke.
They do.
You're out of your mind. The Yankee fans, you go anywhere, there's a Yankee fan. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Yankee fan. I'm telling you the truth here. For you to say Met fans are more passionate than the Yankee fans, that's
I 1,000% believe
that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. And that just shows you how gullible you really are. Because they're not.
They are.
They're not. They're absolutely not.
You want to make a bet?
Yeah, I want to make a bet.
Okay. Let's have the fans decide that listen to our show. I'll put out a poll, and whoever wins.
How many Met fans follow you?
I don't know. I don't sit down and quiz them, but I think Met fans are more passionate than Yankee fans.
No way. No way in hell. Not a chance.
What it takes to still mentally support that team after all these years of heartbreak.
They don't sell. Come on, Lyle. Look at the games. Are you watching the games?
Nobody's
showing up to games. How is that passion? How is that passion?
Just because you don't sell the games out doesn't mean anything.
Do you remember when the Yankees were barely breaking? They were a 500 team. They were like 4 games over 500. They were selling out those games. All those games.
Good for them.
How are you saying that? If the Met fans are more passionate, why aren't they selling out their games? If you have so much passion for this team, why aren't you going to the games?
I don't have passion for them.
I'm asking you. Why would you say that the Met fans have more passion than the Yankee fans when they don't even go and watch their own team play? There are more Yankee fans going to the Met games. I'm a Yankee fan that goes to Met games. Yes, I go to more Met games than probably some of these Met fans.
Why do you go
to more Met? Because I love Citi Field.
And I hate Citi Field.
What happened?
I don't like Citi Field.
I love Citi Field. See,
I think Citi Field is good, but I like to sit down and watch the game. And there are a lot of places in Citi Field where you can't see the entire field. Where some part of it where you're sitting, you have some percentage of a partial view. And that I hate. To me, I'd rather go to Yankee Stadium and see the entire field than go to Citi Field, get great food, have a great time away from my seat. But when I'm doing what I went there to do, if I can't see 100% of that field, like what the fuck?
I like Citi Field. I like the way it's set up. I like that it's family oriented. I like that. I just like that persona. I don't like going, and I'm a Yankee guy, and I go to Yankee games too. But when I go to a Yankee game, the food is not anywhere close to as good as Citi.
Oh no, I agree with that. But I don't go to games for the food. I go to games to watch my team play.
Yeah, I go
when the Nationals come up here, I want to go there.
If you're going to a game, you're going there for the whole extravaganza.
No,
you're
not
going
me.
there for the food. You're going for the game.
I don't care about the food.
Dude, I don't go to a game and look at my phone at all. When I go to a baseball game, I watch everybody and see what they're doing in their seats. They're not even watching the game.
See, I'm not like that. I don't care about the food. It's overpriced. Like, if I'm hungry, yeah, I'll get it. But I'd rather eat at home than go to the game and actually watch it. That's what I'm there for. I want to see my team play. I don't care about the food. I could not give up. Maybe it's because I grew up going to the Coliseum where the food was like dog crap. But like that's just how I am. I don't care about the food.
And you probably missed the Coliseum because of the dog crap that you were eating.
No, absolutely not. You know what I missed from the Coliseum?
What?
The OG Coliseum. They had these like Bavarian nuts right when you walked in the main gate.
You like nuts, right? You like nuts.
Oh, I fucking love them. But right when I would walk in, there would be these people with the hot almonds covered in like a cinnamon crust.
Almonds? Ugh.
Yeah, it was hot almonds. They were so good. They were so good.
You like nuts in your mouth, right? You like nuts in your mouth.
Only if they're Bavarian.
Yeah, well, wherever they come from, you like those hot nuts in your mouth.
They were great. I miss that so much. Every time I go to the city, I see one of those trucks with them, with the little tiny stands. When I see them making the same nuts,
I hate the smell of it. Ugh.
No, they're great.
Ugh. Disgusting.
They're amazing.
Just the thought.
The sugar-coated cinnamon on them. Oh, yummy.
Oh, you make that sound again? Just make that sound.
Nope.
Sounds like you're gobbling somebody else's nuts. All right, our final topic of the day is the NHL salary cap, and I'm going to let you lead on this. Right now, it's set at $88 million. That means that it's a $4.5 million increase. How does this affect the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers? You first.
I think that this gives the Rangers a little bit more needed leeway in order to be able to. I think the Rangers need a center. I think that's where they should ideally go. Move Mika to the right wing and get a center. I think that's probably the best move that they could do. I think they've needed a dominant transitional center for years, even for a long, long time. And Mika, I think, is more suited to play on the wing. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's a great player, but I think his play style suits the wing more. I think moving him to the right wing and then getting a good center is.
I think he suits the Islanders. Maybe the Islanders should trade for him.
I think he would be very. I think that's the best strategy for them. And for the New York Islanders, they have there's a few different options they could go this offseason. If you look at their scoring,
that's their option. Trade everybody.
If you look at their scoring, their top six did pretty well. The top six scored pretty well. You had Barzell, who had 80-something points. You had Horvat, Nelson, Palmieri all scored 30 goals. Anders Lee scored 20. You had guys producing up there. It was really their bottom six that didn't really do anything that put them down there towards the lower end. Now, they could do two different things. They could try and dump Cap and get a good left wing to play up in that top six, or they could try and get more scoring and get more depth. I'm not opposed to either one, but I think getting more depth is probably better in the immediate present. I think getting someone who can score the 15, 18 goals playing on their third line with Pajot is the way to go. A cheaper option they could do is signing DeBrusque, who I think they could probably sign him for $5 million. They have a few contracts that are up that I don't think they should even come close to tendering. I don't.
They will because they got Lou Lamoriello running that team.
I don't think they should keep Wahlstrom. I think they should let him go. Aho is probably going to.
We'll go to the Rangers and be a 30-goal scorer.
So I have one proposal that I think they should do, and it's never in a million years going to happen.
I've got one.
Hold on, let me finish. I think the Islanders and Rangers should swap Kakko and Wahlstrom.
Just gonna say that.
I think both need to need to change of scenery. I think Kakko fits that third line defensive forward the Islanders really need right now because he's young. He can play the power play. I mean, not the power play. I'm sorry, the penalty kill. They need some more guys who can play that penalty kill right now. Last year was brutal, and I think Wahlstrom being on that offense that the Rangers have, I think he could get more chances to play how he wants to play. I think that's a strategy that they could try, and I think that benefits both teams. Wahlstrom will get a not as big of a contract as Kakko, so they could afford to take him.
Kakko already signed his extension for 3 years.
Yes, but next year I think his contract's up, right?
No, 3 years. He just signed one. He has 2 years left.
So, hey, you know what? Even so, Wahlstrom's contract is going to be way less than Kakko. I think Wahlstrom, $1 million and a quarter. He's not going to have a big contract. So that gives the Rangers more leeway to go and get a center that I think they need by doing that trade. And I think that gives the Islanders someone who's young, fast, can play defensive hockey, and for the PK can put 15, 18 goals in. He did that already in his career. I think that's a trade that would make sense for both teams. But like I said, it's never going to happen.
No, I don't think the Rangers will allow it because I have a feeling Kakko goes somewhere. He's going to be a star too. I think he's a star. I just don't think he fits the Rangers in the culture over there. I think there's a lot of pressure on him playing in Madison Square Garden. This guy was the number 2 pick right behind Jack Hughes. I think that this kid could be a 35, 40 goal scorer. I think he's got that kind of talent. I just think he needs a change of scenery. He's 22 years old, 23. He's still a kid. He's still a pup.
Yeah, he's still 23. I think he could become a guy who could score.
The Rangers are never going to put him on the top 2 lines.
No, I think he's a guy who could probably maybe consistently score 25.
I think he's going to have more than that.
I don't think he's going to be a guy who can score 35, 40. I don't think he can get there. Nothing against him. It's just very hard to do at that level. And I think 25 in that range is probably about best for him, being a middle 6 forward. And that's not a bad thing. That's, some guys get drafted high and never play a game. And being a guy who can play his entire career, being a middle 6 forward, playing on the second line, playing on the third line, everybody has a role to play on a championship winning team. And third line forwards who can still score 15 to 20 goals is very important. And that's what he is.
The Islanders need to get rid of contracts. They need to get rid of players.
Well, next year they have a bunch of guys coming off.
They need to get rid of Casey Zizekas. Clutterbuck is gone. Matty Martin's gone. They need to get rid of these pieces. If you could trade Pierre Engvall, trade him. Get rid of him. Kyle Palmieri had a good season. Trade him. Get something back for him.
I wouldn't trade Palmieri right now. Their best move or the easiest move to trade.
JG Pajot, another guy they should trade.
I don't think they should. He's too good of a defensive center. He's too good in playing that defensive center role, and you really need that for the playoffs. That's desperate. honestly, I think if the Rangers had him at third line center, they beat the Panthers easily. Having a guy, he's so good in what he does not get noticed enough. He's so good at that faceoff, so good at commanding the team and the defensive end and in transition from in the role he plays. And I don't want to lose Pajot. I think he's very important to this team. Casey Zizekas is a guy that they could easily trade. He has no clauses on his contract to prevent him. And then they have Kyle McLean, who could play fourth line center. I think that's the easiest way to go. You let Martin go, you let Clutterbuck go, and you replace Zizekas with McLean, and you have Holmstrom, Fasching, and McLean on the fourth line. And I think that's a pretty solid fourth line. That's what I would do.
I think that the Islanders definitely need to look for depth. I think you get a star player to play beside, obviously Barzal and Bo Horvat.
The thing is that, and the reason why I want to go with adding depth to the third line and maybe a second line more important than getting a star is because it's just going to be so difficult.
They're going to have to trade. I'm sorry to cut you off. They're going to have to trade one of those defensemen too. They're going to have to.
The thing is they have nothing to trade that's down there. Like, nobody's going to want to take Pulak. He's too injury prone. No one's going to want to take Pelech. He's playing horrible the last year and a half. And Pelech's also injury prone.
It's just he needs to change the scenery. I could see Pelech being traded. I could see Pelech being traded to the Predators. Go play.
I can picture that. But I don't know. I don't think anyone's going to take him.
I think Barry Trotz will. I think Barry would take him.
He hasn't been good. He hasn't been great, and you're not going to get much of a return. It's much better to keep him and try and get him back to that previous form. I think it's much easier for the New York Islanders to add depth and trade Zizekas and use that for depth for another winger. I think DeBrusk is the easiest option to get for the New York Islanders. He's affordable, can score. I think that's probably where he ends up is Long Island.
Very interesting. Well, Lyle, that's our show, man. I mean, it's a good show. How's the lights over there? You got it.
The power's great. Also, Hassan Reddick at the first day of Jets mandatory camp, and he did not show. Looks like the New York Jets traded for someone who's going to be holding out when they could have used that money for.
He's going to sign with them. The Jets are going to sign him.
Hopefully.
The Jets already came out and said that when they made that trade, they were expected to sign him. They're going to sign him. So Hassan Reddick will be signed. And that's why Aaron Rodgers took less money, so they can maneuver some money to bring in players of this magnitude. They're going to bring him in. They're going to sign him. But, after this season, they're going to have to decide what they're doing with C.J. Mosley. I don't think Mosley will – this is Mosley's last year with the Jets.
That's a shame. He's a really good leader.
He is, but he's making a lot of money. He's making $16 million. So I think the Jets will part ways.
Didn't they rework his contract and make it?
They already reworked his contract. So
I thought next year is now guaranteed for him.
I don't know the understanding of his contract, but I do know that when you look at the picture that they're in right now, I think Mosley's got to, and they got to hope that some of these young guys step up this year and do what they were expected.
Yeah, he has $4.25 guaranteed next year.
All right. Well, then the Jets could trade him. And Will McDonald too. I expect Will McDonald to have a good season. Hassan Reddick will sign with the Jets. I'm telling you. He probably, definitely. He will sign with the Jets. I'm telling you right now, Joe Douglas came out when they made this trade. They said when they made this trade, they were expecting to re-sign him, and they're just trying to figure out what makes sense for the Jets because they're not going to give him $140 million. That's what he wants. The Jets are not. Remember, Hassan Reddick is 29, going to be 30 years old. He might have four.
Well, what do you know? The Jets are going to have about $7.7 million of Mosley's contract on the books on 2026 when he's a free agent. So if they trade him, I don't think they're going to trade him because they're still going to have that on the books. I don't think they're going to release him. They're probably just going to let him play next year.
We'll see. All right, Lyle. We'll be back next week. For all the fans out there, go check us out, Cross Island Podcast. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on all the social medias. We're up and rolling for Cross Island. And Lyle, it's been great. I will see you next week, as we always will. We're going to get together, Lyle. I mean,
we could do that. We could do a show together, live.
Where are we going to do that?
I don't know. Saying we could do it.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it an Islander bar. I'll do a live show at an Islander bar, and we'll just talk all hockey.
Okay. Wait until after the draft starts, and we'll do it after that.
Find an Islander bar that would let us do a live show. We'll do it.
Well, let me work some things, and let me see.
All right. That's it for Across Island Podcast. Errol, that's Lyle. We'll be back next week on Monday, as we always are, at 7:00. Until then, this is the Cross Island Podcast saying good night. We'll talk to you then. Good night, everybody.